Once upon a time, in a tranquil village nestled among rolling hills and serene landscapes, there lived a revered sage named Manish. He was renowned throughout the land, not only for his profound wisdom, but also for his remarkable ability to guide people in mastering their emotions. Manish's journey to emotional mastery began when he was just a young boy. First, if you want to keep following more meaningful stories and valuable lessons like Manish's in this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Doing so not only brings you more precious knowledge, but also offers moments of relaxation and a sense of inner peace. Join us as we embark on a journey of self-discovery and explore how to master your emotions for a more tranquil life. Leave a comment saying, "I master my emotions and embrace every challenge with peace," to affirm your inner strength, nurture tranquility in your soul, and become a guiding light for your own peaceful and meaningful life. When Manish was young, he was an extremely sensitive child with a delicate soul easily overwhelmed by surging waves of emotions. Emotions were like a strong current, sweeping over and overpowering his tender mind, leaving Manish feeling lost and out of control in the face of the ceaselessly changing states of his emotions. Day by day, growing up amidst the serenity of the village, Manish not only struggled with his own emotions, but also witnessed countless tragedies around him caused by unrestrained feelings. He saw conflicts and quarrels among friends and neighbors escalate due to momentary outbursts of anger, families shattered by unfounded jealousy, and loved ones drowning in deep, relentless sorrow with no way out. These heartbreaking scenes left a deep impression on Manish's young mind, like indelible scars. He understood that emotions, if not recognized and controlled properly, could become a flame that consumes love, understanding, and the bond between people. This inner conflict fueled an intense desire within Manish, driving him to seek the answer to a profound question: what is the nature of emotions? How can one master these inner waves? Thus, from those bitter experiences and silent pain, Manish resolved to embark on the path of understanding emotions. His aspiration was not only to comprehend himself, but also to help those around him find peace, guiding them to learn how to control their emotions so that no one would have to endure the torment of their own chaotic feelings. It wasn't just a wish, it became a mission that Manish dedicated his entire life to pursuing. One day, as the gentle afternoon sunlight filtered through the lush foliage of an ancient Bodhi tree, Manish sat quietly beneath its shade, his eyes half closed, and his mind blending with the stillness of the surroundings. The sound of the wind whispering through the leaves, like the murmurs of the earth and sky, mingled with the soft murmur of a distant stream. He silently observed the crystal-clear water winding through the curves of the mountains and forests, its calm surface reflecting the vast blue sky above. Though the scene was simple, it radiated a serene and indescribable beauty, stirring deep reflections within him about life and the essence of the human soul. Manish intently watched the river flowing before him, sensing every subtle yet constant movement of the water. The surface of the river was often still and mirror-like, but just a gentle breeze or a pebble's drop would immediately send ripples spreading out, breaking the calm. As Manish observed the ever-changing flow, he suddenly realized that the river before him was just like the flow of emotions in the human soul. Manish decided to embark on a journey to seek out a revered master named Ananda, who lived in seclusion atop the high mountains. Ananda was renowned for his profound understanding of the human mind and emotions. When Manish arrived at Ananda's secluded abode, he found the wise sage meditating, his eyes reflecting a serene calmness like the still surface of a tranquil lake. With utmost respect, Manish approached and expressed his deep desire to learn the art of mastering emotions. Ananda welcomed Manish with a warm and gentle smile, like the sun's rays melting away the morning frost, bringing a sense of peace and trust to Manish. With an open heart and profound wisdom, Ananda accepted Manish as his disciple, agreeing to impart to him the deep secrets of mastering emotions. From that moment, Manish began a rigorous and challenging journey of self-cultivation. It wasn't just about learning through ancient scriptures, but also about practicing through each breath, each mindful moment of meditation. Under Ananda's meticulous and strict guidance, Manish gradually learned to observe his emotions objectively and without judgment. Every day brought new lessons and deeper insights into his inner world. Step by step, Manish came to understand that emotions were not enemies, but signals reflecting the state of his mind and heart at each moment. He practiced maintaining a mindful awareness, ensuring that negative emotions like anger, envy, or sadness would not take control and overwhelm him. Instead, he learned to accept and understand each emotion, much like a bystander calmly watching the waves rise and fall along the shore, neither rushing to embrace nor reject them. After years of relentless practice and self-discipline, little by little, Manish became more adept at facing and mastering the intense emotions that would surge within him. Anger no longer easily took hold of him, and the deep sorrow that once left him feeling lost and directionless now seemed like a gentle breeze that passed by without disrupting his clarity. The emotional storms that once swept away his inner peace had transformed into gentle ripples, flowing quietly without leaving a trace. One day, after many years of steadfast cultivation and self-refinement, Manish came to Ananda, still bearing a lingering concern deep in his heart. With great reverence, he bowed before his teacher and said, "Master, I have learned how to observe my emotions as if I were standing outside of them, but when true challenges arise, I still struggle to control them. I find myself being swept away by waves of emotions whenever I face stressful situations, and this makes me realize that I have not yet fully mastered myself. What must I do to truly master the art of emotional control?" Ananda listened attentively to each word, his eyes filled with compassion and deep understanding. His gentle gaze seemed to pierce through to the core of Manish's soul, perceiving the inner turmoil that lay hidden. He smiled softly and spoke in a calm, soothing voice, like the chime of a bell echoing through a still forest. "My beloved disciple, observing your emotions is only the first step, but true mastery does not end there. You must delve deeper into the root of your emotions, uncovering the underlying causes and learning how to transform their energy. Emotions, like wild horses on the vast plains, are powerful and untamed. To tame them, you cannot use brute force or pressure to subdue them, as that will only make them more ferocious." Ananda paused for a moment, letting his words seep slowly into Manish's mind before continuing. "To gain control over these wild horses, you must first become familiar with them. You need to understand what they are trying to tell you, what has caused them to feel restless, distressed, or enraged. When you offer them understanding and compassion, you will see them begin to calm down, like old friends reuniting after a long separation. True emotional mastery does not lie in suppressing or banishing your emotions, but rather in being able to face them, listen to them, and guide them in the direction you want them to go." Manish was silent. Every word from his master felt like a light illuminating the hidden corners of his mind that he hadn't realized before. He understood that mastering emotions is not just about observation. He needed to confront and step into the dark, chaotic areas of his mind where anger, fear, and sadness reside. He needed to make friends with them, understand each storm within, and transform those emotional waves into strength for his own growth. Manish listened intently and realized that he needed to delve deeper into the roots of his emotions. He began exploring the causes and patterns that triggered his emotional responses. Through contemplation and self-reflection, he gradually untangled the complex web of feelings within himself. To continue his journey, Ananda encouraged Manish to practice self-compassion. Manish started treating himself with the same kindness and understanding that he had always offered to others. He recognized that harsh self-criticism and judgment only fueled more negative emotions. Gradually, self-compassion became a powerful tool in his journey to master his emotions. Manish slowly discovered a profound truth about emotions. They are not merely fleeting psychological reactions, but also potent sources of energy hidden within every individual. He realized that, if properly guided and transformed, negative emotions do not have to be harmful enemies, but can be turned into driving forces for growth, even leading to meaningful positive actions. In moments of confronting his own anger, instead of allowing it to erupt into conflicts or arguments, Manish learned to restrain himself and look deeper into the roots of his rage. He would ask himself, what is really making me angry? What injustice am I feeling? From there, he didn't let the anger lead him into unconscious actions, but chose to channel that energy into motivation for positive change. His anger was no longer a fire that scorched everything around it, but rather a guiding light, giving him the courage to face and address issues that needed resolution. Likewise, when overwhelmed by sadness, instead of letting it paralyze his spirit, Manish began to see it as an opportunity to delve deeper into his soul, to listen to the hidden pain and wounds within. He did not push the sadness away, but welcomed it with compassion and understanding. From that sadness, he felt the fragility of life and the suffering that everyone inevitably endures. This realization awakened within him a wellspring of empathy. Sadness was no longer a separate agony, but became a bridge, allowing Manish to connect more deeply with the suffering of others and empathize with an open heart. Manish understood that each emotion has two sides. They can either be destructive enemies or wise teachers, depending on how we confront and process them. Anger can become a source of strength to fight for justice if directed toward constructive actions. Sadness can be the foundation for empathy and understanding if we allow it to teach us about compassion. Fear, rather than making us retreat, can become a supportive wind that helps us move forward cautiously yet steadily on the challenging path ahead. Through continuous learning and practice, Manish discovered a precious principle. No emotion is inherently good or bad. The way we face and transform them determines the outcome they bring to our lives. When we understand and learn to convert them, each emotion, whether negative or positive, becomes a necessary piece, helping us complete the mosaic of our lives in a more meaningful and profound way. If you feel that Manish's story resonates with you, please subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss our upcoming videos. Doing so will not only provide you with more valuable knowledge, but also offer moments of relaxation and a sense of inner peace. Join us as we embark on a journey of self-discovery and learn how to master emotions to create a more tranquil life. Word of Manish's transformative abilities quickly spread throughout the village. People from all over came to see him, seeking advice and guidance. They approached Manish burdened with anger, anxiety, and despair, hoping to find comfort and understanding. With his calm demeanor and profound wisdom, Manish helped them navigate the turbulent waves of their emotions. He taught them that emotions, when understood and transformed, could become powerful allies on their life's journey instead of sweeping them away in the storm. One day, a young girl named Leela came to see Manish, her face etched with worry. She had been struggling with chronic anxiety and overwhelming fear, unable to find peace within herself. Manish sat with Leela in silence, allowing her to express her worries without interruption. He listened with an open heart, holding a space filled with compassion for her pain. After a while, Leela looked up at Manish and asked, "Master, how can I control this anxiety? How can I find peace amidst this overwhelming fear?" Manish looked at Leela with eyes full of understanding and gave her a gentle smile. His voice, soft and soothing like the whispering wind in the forest, brought a sense of lightness and tranquility. "My dear Leela, anxiety is a natural reaction when we face the unknown and the uncertainties of life. You don't need to avoid or try to banish it, for anxiety is not your enemy. Honor your emotions and let them be present and free as they naturally are. But you must also remember that anxiety is not permanent. Just like all other emotions, it is only a temporary state, passing by like the clouds in the blue sky. Anxiety comes and goes, but you, with your calm and steady mind, remain present, always existing, still and unwavering. Manisha's words were like a small flame illuminating Leela's heart, bringing her a sense of relief and easing the heavy burden of anxiety she had carried for so long. She began to see that anxiety was just one part of the human experience, a fleeting cloud in the sky of her mind. Sometimes these clouds would gather densely, covering the entire sky, making her feel enveloped in a thick fog of fear and insecurity. But then, just like those clouds, they would eventually dissipate, returning the sky to its clear and bright state. When she stopped resisting and ceased trying to push them away, she realized that anxiety would naturally lose its grip and vanish, like morning mist dissolving under the warmth of the sun. By fully experiencing each emotion and facing them without avoidance, Leela gradually found the inner strength to manage the fears that lingered in her heart. She began to focus on accepting her emotions as a natural part of life, instead of resisting or trying to escape from them. Whenever anxiety surfaced, instead of being swept away by it, Leela would gently remind herself, "It's just a temporary state." That simple phrase brought her a remarkable sense of calm, helping her realize that everything would pass as long as she remained patient and steady. Day by day, Leela practiced letting go of her attachment to emotions, allowing them to come and go naturally without holding on to them or fearing their presence. Slowly but steadily, she began to understand the impermanence of emotions and found solace in this realization. Like the vast sky that embraces all changes, her mind began to grow broader and more peaceful. She understood that emotions, whether anxiety or fear, were just small ripples on the surface of a lake, incapable of disturbing the profound stillness within. With this newfound awareness, Leela gradually felt more at ease whenever anxiety arose. She no longer tried to push it away from her mind, nor did she drown in insecurity. Instead, she welcomed anxiety like a guest visiting her home. She invited it to sit down, observed it gently, and allowed it to come and go freely. Gradually, Leela felt herself growing stronger and more grounded in the face of emotional storms. Now, she had learned not to let emotions control her, but rather she had mastered the flow of her own feelings. From a distance, Manish watched Leela's transformation with a contented smile. He knew that Leela was slowly finding true peace within herself. It was not the temporary calm that comes when negative emotions disappear, but a lasting tranquility born from accepting and understanding the nature of emotions. He believed that as long as Leela remained steadfast on this path, she would eventually find the light of awakening, and her anxieties would become mere passing clouds, no longer powerful enough to sweep her away as they once did. Leela could now smile at her anxieties, like greeting an old friend, welcoming them, and then letting them leave gently. The deep understanding that emotions are only transient states, coming and going, helped Leela find a source of peace from within. The anxiety that once made her restless and sleepless was now transformed into a source of compassion for herself and those around her. Leela realized that when we master our emotions, our minds become like a still lake, and even the fiercest storms become gentle ripples, unable to disturb its calm surface. Leela's story is a testament to the power of acceptance and understanding in mastering emotions. She found a simple yet profound truth. Emotions, whether intense or subtle, are merely temporary visitors to the mind. And when we can smile and welcome them, they will eventually leave, leaving us with a lighter and more tranquil heart than ever before. If you also want to achieve inner peace, leave a comment saying, "I master my emotions and embrace every challenge with serenity," to affirm your inner strength, nurture tranquility in your soul, and become a guiding light for your own peaceful and meaningful life. Over time, Manisha's reputation as a master in guiding people to control their emotions spread far and wide. People traveled from distant lands to seek wisdom and learn from his teachings. Manish's small home gradually became a refuge for those yearning for emotional balance and inner peace. One day, a man named Arjun, with a contemplative face and eyes burning with anger, came to Manish's home. Hearing about Manish's unique ability to help others control their emotions, Arjun didn't hesitate to traverse hills and cross rivers to reach him, driven by a single hope: to find peace and escape the flames of rage that were consuming his soul. When Manish greeted Arjun, he did not ask many questions. He simply offered a warm smile, as gentle as the morning sun, melting away the ice of a long, cold night. With a slight nod, he softly invited Arjun to sit down on the porch of his small house. That gesture made Arjun, despite the turmoil and resentment in his heart, feel a small warmth begin to seep in. Although his face still showed signs of tension, his eyes softened a bit, like a roaring fire momentarily soothed by a cool breeze. A powerful desire surged within him to find a way to control the sudden bursts of anger that even he couldn't comprehend, and to rediscover the peace he had long lost. With compassion and deep understanding, Manish began to share with Arjun the true nature of anger. He explained that anger, like any other emotion, is not meaningless or solely a source of suffering. On the contrary, anger is a messenger carrying valuable information within it. It reflects unmet needs, boundaries that have been violated, or values that we are trying to protect. If we learn to listen to our anger, we can understand its deeper message. Instead of viewing anger as an enemy, we should see it as a messenger that helps us identify unresolved issues within ourselves. Manish smiled gently, looking directly into Arjun's reddened eyes, and said, "Anger doesn't arise without reason. It is the result of suppressed emotions, pain, and inner wounds. When you try to repress or suppress anger, it only becomes more intense and fierce. Instead, you need to understand its root causes, listen to it, and transform that energy. Anger, if controlled and used correctly, can become a source of strength to help you change your circumstances and develop yourself, rather than being a destructive fire that consumes you from within." Manish then taught Arjun the art of mindfulness. He guided him on how to return to his breath whenever anger began to flare up. Mindfulness, Manish explained, is the ability to be fully present in each moment, recognizing your emotions without getting swept away by them. When you start to feel the tension spreading through your chest, pause for a moment, take a deep breath in, and slowly exhale. By doing this, you create a space between the stimulus and your response. In that space, you have the power to choose your reaction consciously, rather than reacting impulsively. Manish continued, his gaze penetrating the turmoil within Arjun's soul. Think of anger as a flame. When you add fuel to it, it flares up and destroys everything around it. But if you don't feed it, if you simply observe and remain calm with each breath, that flame will gradually die down. You will see that you are not your anger. You are the one who has the ability to master and direct it. Each time you breathe and remain calm, you are taming the inner flame and transforming it into a positive source of energy for yourself. Manish's words were like drops of cool water, soothing Arjun's troubled heart. They were not just abstract theories, but teachings born from deep experience and understanding. Arjun felt a small glimmer of hope begin to rise within him, that he could change, that this anger was not his true essence, but merely a part of his emotional spectrum that could be managed. Manish continued to instruct Arjun on how to observe his anger without judgment, without attaching it to his sense of self. When you feel angry, don't say, "I am angry," but rather, "There is a feeling of anger present in my mind." In doing so, you separate yourself from the anger, recognizing it as a temporary state and not allowing it to define who you are. You are not your anger, and your anger is not you. Arjun sat quietly, absorbing each word as it sank into his chaotic heart. He began to practice as Manish instructed, taking deep breaths, feeling the air fill his lungs, and then exhaling slowly, as if releasing all the worries and frustrations within him. Gradually, he felt the fire in his chest calm down, the anger no longer boiling over as it had before. In that moment, Arjun realized that his anger was just a visitor, and he, with the peace he cultivated within, was the true master. And so, day by day, Arjun continued to practice what Manish had taught him. He learned to face his anger without reacting impulsively, perceiving it as a wave that would rise and then pass. Each time, he felt more in control, his emotions no longer dictating his actions. Over time, anger was no longer his adversary, but instead became a latent power, helping him understand himself and achieve self-mastery. One quiet evening, as the stillness enveloped the world, as if time itself had stopped, the only sounds that could be heard were the crackling of the fire and the soft breeze rustling through the leaves. Manish and Arjun sat beside the flickering flames, the light dancing as if trying to join the rhythm of the night. The glow cast upon Arjun's face, which had changed so much since the day he first arrived. His eyes no longer burned with anger and bitterness, but instead radiated a deep sense of peace, gentle like the surface of a calm lake. Looking into Manish's eyes, Arjun softly whispered, his voice carrying the melody of gratitude. "Master, you have shown me the path to control my emotions, especially the rage that once consumed my soul. Thanks to your guidance, I have learned how to master my anger and become more composed. I am truly grateful for your teachings." Manish listened to every word, a gentle smile emerging on his kind face. The firelight reflected in his eyes, like stars twinkling in the night sky. He nodded slightly and responded in a calm, loving tone. "Arjun, do you realize? It was you who found the inner strength to control your emotions. I was merely a guide, but it was you who braved the storms and discovered the light of peace for yourself." He paused briefly, looking deeply into Arjun's eyes, where there was no longer any trace of turmoil, only the serenity and wisdom of true understanding. "True mastery," Manish continued, "is not about suppressing or eliminating emotions, but lies in your ability to face them, recognize them, and then use your wisdom to direct them. When you can do this, you will find true peace within yourself, no matter how many storms are raging outside." Manish's words were like a gentle breeze, soothing Arjun's soul, revealing a simple yet profound truth. Emotional mastery is not about conquering, but rather harmonizing with those emotions, transforming them from destructive flames into guiding lights. Many years quietly flowed by, like the silent river of time that no one can hold back. Manish, still carrying his tranquil demeanor and eyes shining with wisdom, continued his journey as a lighthouse guiding lost ships through the foggy sea. His small house, nestled in the remote mountains, remained a sanctuary for wandering souls. People came to him, burdened by sadness, their minds tormented by anger, fear, and suffering. And then, each one left his home, carrying a newfound light within their hearts. Manish's humble abode was not a magical place that could dissolve all negative emotions, but rather a place where each person's inner light was kindled by their own understanding and self-awareness. Manish didn't offer peace as a ready-made gift. Instead, he helped them see that this peace had always existed within them, merely obscured by the dark clouds of emotions. When people left, they were no longer the same. They carried with them a new understanding, a newfound ability to navigate and master their complex emotions, like skilled sailors, capable of steering their ships through every storm without fear. Manish's reputation spread far and wide, like a flame igniting across distant lands, but he never saw himself as an exalted master. He considered himself simply a friend, a guide on the journey to finding peace and self-mastery within the mind. His small home remained a refuge for those seeking a steady anchor, a place to rest after drifting through the tumultuous seas of emotions. Each person who came and went carried their own stories, taking with them lessons absorbed from Manish's serenity and wisdom. They were no longer individuals swept away by the waves of emotion as before, but rather, they had become masters of their own emotional vessels. They had learned to listen, to understand, and to transform their anger, fear, and sorrow into strength and motivation to live a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Manish's teachings were not just theoretical knowledge, but guiding flames, helping them find the light within themselves. The story of Manish, his journey to transform emotions and rediscover peace, will forever serve as a beacon of hope, reminding us that true tranquility begins with self-understanding and acceptance. Manish's life has become a testament to the transformative power of understanding and emotional mastery. His guidance enabled people to ride the waves of their emotions without being swept away by them. He helped them find inner peace and tranquility despite the challenges life presented. The story of Manish, the wise sage and master of emotional control, offers us a valuable lesson about the true nature of emotions in the human journey. Emotions are not something we need to suppress or eliminate, nor are they enemies to be conquered. They are simply the natural currents of the mind, responses to the ever-changing circumstances of life. If we can see that emotions come and go as an inevitable part of our existence, we will find the inner strength to guide and transform them. Manish taught us that instead of letting emotions control us, we can learn to listen and understand them as valuable signals from within. Anger can become the drive to protect what's important. Sadness can nurture deep compassion, and anxiety can remind us to prepare and be cautious. When we learn to navigate these emotional currents, using them not to drown us but to propel us forward like the wind in a sail, each emotion becomes a source of strength that pushes us to grow and evolve. Additionally, feel free to leave a comment saying, "I master my emotions and embrace every challenge with serenity," to affirm your inner strength, nurture tranquility within your soul, and become a guiding light for your own peaceful and meaningful life. Lastly, if you want to keep following meaningful stories and valuable lessons like Manish's in this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. Doing so will not only bring you more precious knowledge, but also provide moments of relaxation and a sense of inner peace. Join us as we embark on a journey of self-discovery and learn how to master emotions for a more tranquil life.